Alrighty, and we're back. I thought I'd do a quick little video on putting a new grab handle on this XR6 door card. Now, if you know anything about the interiors on the BA and BF Fords, Falcons, the grab handles are notorious for just snapping off. Just over time, the plastic, they're just held on by a plastic weld that goes through the door card, and it sort of melts onto the back. And over time, that plastic just gets brittle and the grab handles end up just ripping off in your hand. Sometimes, if you're lucky, you can re-glue the thing back together and re-weld the plastic on the back on the inside of the card and make it work again. But a lot of the time they actually snap where the shaft is that actually screws to the body of the car, the door itself, and they're pretty well flogged out. And the easiest way you've been able to fix it in the past is to just get a replacement door card and swap the whole thing out. But nowadays, if you're lucky and you can find them on eBay, you can get these aftermarket replacement grab handles, which is what I've done for this one. Now, I've not used one of these before. I generally try and find a door card and swap the whole thing out, which I actually did buy another one for this car that I'm doing. But the driver's door card that came out was in better condition than the one that I actually bought. So I bought the replacement handle. So we're going to put that on and see how it goes. Now, I'm not sure of the quality of these. I've never used one before. They do sell out pretty quickly on eBay. So if they are in stock and you need one, you pretty much got to jump on one before they sell out, because yeah, there's no guarantee of when they'll have more in stock. So we'll get this one out and have a look at it. So there's the actual handle itself. Now, I've always been curious when I've seen these online to know if this is a separate piece. The factory ones, these what they call spears, pop out. So I'm not sure if this one does on the aftermarket one, so I'm curious to see. Alrighty, so it comes with like a backing plate, which is a good thing. I guess that would give it a bit more strength. I have seen people just put screws into the back of the factory ones, into the plastic little tab things, but the screws end up just breaking through the plastic. So to have this little backing plate is a pretty good little idea. So let's have a look at the replacement handle itself. And there it is. Okay, so it's in two parts. So what I'm seeing, I'm just going to put this down and have a quick look at it. Okay, so the silver spear is a separate piece, which is pretty good. And it seems pretty decent quality too. It's nice and thick. A bit thicker than the factory ones, which tend to break all the time. And it's also a painted finish, so none of that flaky foil, which these tend to do as well. They peel off, so that's a good thing as well. Now, I'm not sure why they've got a second piece for the back. So there's a backing there. There's a couple of screws in here. So I'm thinking this is just going to clip onto that like a normal one. Put your little piece on the back of there on the inside of the door card and put your screws in and away you go. Yeah, I don't know why this is maybe it's just for printing, I guess. Easier to print rather than print the whole thing. Who knows? But yeah, I'll put this together and start getting it on the door. Hopefully it's easy to fit. As you can see, this piece just slides over on the back and just clips together to make one whole unit. Just like that. Okay, now as you can see, I've just set it in the door card. So these three little notches stick through the door card. They pop through nice and, they're actually nice and tight. It does feel decent quality. And there's also two holes up here for screw holes, which have lined up as well. One in there and one in there. So now all that's left to do is slide this backing plate over this shaft. Oops. Just like that. I don't know which way it goes, I'd say that way. And we need to get 3 screws in that. And then 2 screws in there. And all the screws are supplied, so they give you nice little flatheads, well, pan head screws. So they'll bite onto the plastic. So we'll get them in. Okay, now I've gone to just put the screws in lightly, and you can see I've put the wrong one in. So they've given you 3 of these screws with the round head, and 2 with this sort of a washer on them as well. It's got like a built-in washer, just because as you can see, these are quite big holes. So the washer will act and grab this plastic as well. So we'll get the right ones in and then we'll have a look how it looks. And there it is, we've got it fitted. Now I'm actually really impressed with that. Yeah, everything fit perfectly. I was going to try and heat up the screws and maybe try and melt them into the plastic, but I thought, no, I'm just going to use what they gave me. It's designed to fit this card, this door card, so if anything breaks, it's going to be on them. But yeah, it actually worked perfectly. Now, I wasn't sure how this piece was going to work, but the way they've designed it, this actual backing plate with the screws going through, the backing plate pulls against the back of the door card, which actually pulls the handle hard to the on the front to the door card itself. So you get no gap whatsoever. Now the flashlight on my phone has just gone off because of course my phone's going flat, but you can see what I mean. It's pulled up beautifully there. Really good. And even the 2 screws up the top here are doing that job perfectly. That is flush with the door card perfectly. No play whatsoever, just by the 2 screws holding that in. So that actually turned out mint. And that's the 2 screws on the top part at the back. So as you can see, I've got them on flush. Haven't done them up super tight, just nipped them up, and it all went on beautifully. So yeah, definitely worth the money for sure. So now the last thing to do is snap this piece in, but obviously I've got to get this on the door first. Now the way this was clipped on is actually really tight. Well, it was tight to get off, so I wouldn't imagine you'd want to try getting this off the door card once it's on. So I'm going to make sure the car's ready when I screw this on before I go putting this on, because I don't want to have to go taking it off again in a hurry. Hopefully when I put it on, it stays on. But that's it, all fitted. Worked a treat, highly recommend it. If you can get these aftermarket ones on eBay, yeah, I'd definitely grab one for sure. Yeah, cheers.